Hello everyone, welcome to our first Devlog. I'm Aurko from Auleek. Since this is our first Devlog, I want to take the opportunity to take you guys through what you've been working for last 6 or so months. Also give you a little intro what walkie-talkies, and then I'll tell you about what our first game that we're planning to announce in this video. As being part of Auleek, we have been working for over 10 years with gaming news and developing different kind of solution with it. Might be a AR app, might be a completely artificial variation app, and also have the some level of experimental different things. We have dabbed into the basic of developing something in 3D space, which is usually in runtime. So obviously we use CM engine for that. And we always wanted to make our own game someday. But we never had the opportunity or say never focused on it that much. But fortunately, I think in the last 6 months, we have decided to take on the journey and see what it is. So doing so, we actually wanted to experiment in a few different ideas, right? So as I say, game development is not a process just about making game, since we all are very passionate about it. We wanted to make something that obviously we want to play, and then also we want to play, but give it to our audience, which they will enjoy. So we wanted to experiment with some of the things that we can make, right? So when we plan that we want to make our own game, basically to understand what our strength is and obviously what we want to make and what we don't want to make. So while doing that, we actually experimented with different ideas like concepts like roguelike with different or beat 'em up. Also, they thought about what kind of story we want to tell, right? Do you want to focus more on gameplay? Do you want to focus more on storytelling? And while doing so, obviously, there are a few ideas that resonate with us very well. I don't want to share too much of them because I think some of them we might eventually develop. But one of them was, we call it January. It was about a ghost who was actually trapped inside a house. And then we have to do something and explore the world, have different activities that you need to do to actually get out of it. That story was very dear to us. We actually, all of our people in circles working or in all of it, also our friends and family that we shared the story, everyone liked it. But when we actually started developing it, we realized it will take a lot more time to finish the game because the more we were working at it, the more depth we felt that it needed. It was very easily can go up to like 2-3 years to develop. So that being said, which is not a problem, but we wanted to make something also something smaller in chunk because game development is a very lengthy process. And then doing so, we also, this is our first time, we also wanted to make sure that the game we are making is not just about something that we are passionate about, we also want to know about our audience, if they are passionate about that. So to address that, we actually did a survey around, I think, something, right? And in that survey, something came around that was like very resonated with us very well. And 3 of them I want to discuss because that I think actually on few of the core ideas that we have at Auleek. So first point I will say it was about playing something that has a very interesting context and then connect with you in a very meaningful manner, which means it needs to have a story that actually resonates with you. And then it's not something that is there just, go to from A to B to C. It's about, having something that even if when you're done playing it resonates with you, you want to share that story with someone else, friend and family. So that I think almost everyone in our game studio actually is very much into that because that's, I think, our pastime. Whenever we end up talking at our free time, we end up dissecting different stories and movies and stuff. So that was one that was, I'm very glad to hear that everyone who actually took the survey was also in that. Second was obviously quality. That is also a very important part of it. We don't want to make something half-assed just to be out there because, again, if you want to make something, you want to make it right so that at least we put all our effort there. I'm not saying we're going to make the best thing ever. Obviously, it's a trial and error. Quality is obviously our highest priority, and then we also want to deliver on. Third interesting point was that came by from the discussion is having some kind of local touch that was relevant to us. Initially, I thought maybe games are actually very broad scope, right? Usually games are either Western or Japanese. There's like two famous genres, and there's somewhere in the Middle East. But when you actually realize the fact that if you're to tell a story, it's always better to tell a story that you live in, right? And for us, all of us in Auleek, obviously, I think most of the people are watching this, have obviously grown up around Bangladesh and somewhere in Bangladesh. And all the culture and everything here is very relevant to us that we can relate to. So that actually gave us the encouragement to work on a title that rather than, doing something that has already been done, but telling a story that is ours, that is relevant to us, but very much break it down essential so that anybody has played game can enjoy, right? Because end of the day, it's just an environment. End of the day, it's just a story. As long as it's a good story, still, I think everybody can relate. So when you went through all those things and we actually studied and all our equipment and stuff, we felt like let's make a game which will have a story that is, first of all, definitely relevant to us as we Bangladesh, but also relevant to most people in the world. And to come to that point, I think everybody here obviously had a childhood. And in childhood, the most important thing we had, at least from, if you ask me, was few of the friends that I had, right? And all the memories, all the things that you do with them, I think it is the most precious things to us, right? Even though some of us are lucky enough to be still in touch with them, some of us are not, but whatever this. That emotion that we had when we were young, the bond we had then, that was, I feel, still magical. Is very hard to recreate even when you are. So there we wanted to start our first game. Without further ado, let me tell you about the game we are working on. So we're calling it Over Now. It's a homage to our friendship, and it is around the time frame of 90s. So it's about two friends who are at their fifth grade, and they became friends because they have this love of tinkering with things, playing with toys and breaking them up, then making neat things together. And that's what actually most fun for them. Rather than being out in the field playing sports, they actually end up at their backyard experiment different things and experiment really well. But the problem happens when one of the friends has to move out in a different area, and they have to do everything they can to actually stay in touch. So now you as a player have to figure out a way and keep your friendship as strong as it. To do so, you will be exploring the area, you will be talking with different people, you will be taking in different activities, and then plan a way to actually build up something that will keep you in touch. I don't want to reveal too much about the gameplay. That will come in coming week. But it's about two friends in a very complicated situation, or at least at that point, and trying your level best to figure out a way out of it. And relive all those childhood memories that we had, right? Like, for example, we used to collect bottle cap. We used to have different chips and foods that were like very dear to us. And then all different activities that we used to do. Currently finding small things here and there, breaking your toys and making your own guns and so. So those things will be part of the game. It's more of a game that we'll be able to relive our childhood as we pace at our younger age. And then, as I said, it's a game on 90s. So it's very much themed to all those small things that we used to have seen those times. That being said, I think we already said more than enough for now. And I want to conclude here now. Thanks for tuning in. But if you have any question, anything that you want to share, feel free to comment or join our Discord channel where we play games there time to time and join those sessions. Also, there are like different things and activities, and when you have those, post them there. And for now, that's all from me, and see you later.